All right, good evening, everybody. Tonight is the May 14th committee meetings, and we're going to start off, as we always do on the second Wednesday, with public safety and your host, Commissioner Brockington.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to call public safety meeting to order. It is 7:36. Sorry, we're a little late, guys. So we're going to start off with item 1A, which is from our police chief. He will be speaking to his report for March of 2025. Chief?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Commissioner. Just to go over our monthly 2025 report with everyone. Our year-to-date numbers are down, which is a good sign. Our numbers for the month of March are about 100 or so over a previous year, but overall, throughout the year, our numbers for calls for service overall are down. We still see a high number of retail thefts, and in the vehicle thefts, as I mentioned last month at Public Safety, that number's a pretty high number for us. We saw a flurry of those towards the end of the month last month, and it carried into March as well. We're working on that investigation, as I mentioned, at last Public Safety. So that number still remains high, along with the retail theft numbers as well. As a follow-up to citizens' complaints, we're out addressing traffic issues throughout the township. We just wrapped up our aggressive driving detail that ran between mid-March and mid-April. That it concluded. We just launched this week the second portion of PennDOT's program, which is the occupant safety program. It used to be called Click It or Ticket. Probably everybody knows what that is. That'll be underway. We will have officers out there aggressively enforcing occupant safety laws, seatbelts, and car seats for children. So our officers will be out as part of this program looking for those violations as well moving forward. Speaking of this week is National Police Week. And we had a breakfast this morning for all former and current Cheltenham police officers as an acknowledgement for their efforts that they've done for the township, and as a way to say thank you for that. That was at Curtis Hall this morning. The manager was there along with Tom, our new HR director as well. Very well attended by some former and current officers, which I really like. It's part of that culture that I believe in so strongly here, and it was nice to see that today as well. Does anyone have any questions regarding the March 2025 report?
Chief, I do have one. Not more of a question, more of a statement, I guess. It looks like the bus patrol average per day is going down. Doing the math is the math. We're at like 24 per day for March. That seems to be a lot lower than what it was months ago.
As you know, as we mentioned last month as well, we spoke about this, and to give the board a follow-up to that as well, we had reached out to the school district. We will be meeting with them. We're at the end of the school year this year, unfortunately, so no change could really be implemented, but they're willing to meet with us to discuss looking at some of the locations where we're seeing a high number of violations to try to bring this number. That's one thing I haven't tried, as I mentioned, to try to bring that number down, possibly looking at alternate locations, in our peak areas to try to reduce that number overall. They were receptive. We will be meeting with them in June to start beginning conversations on what we can do to bring that down as well, and focusing on the high frequency areas.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Commissioner Arnett, and then Commissioner Rapp. Go ahead.
I'm muting myself. Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief, two things. First of all, looking at the speed citations for March, they seem relatively low to me. Again, critically important. And I know you're doing the surge enforcement and that sort of thing, but we just really got to see those numbers improve.
Yeah, Commissioner, this is one of those. If I could comment on that before we move to your next comment. Obviously, I'm in tune with what you're saying with this. I understand the direction I'm getting from the Board of Commissioners on this. I take it very seriously. There's several factors. I'm not big on excuses, sir. I'll take it on the chin for this month. There are other factors that go into this without discussing it now. That go into that number and why we were at with that. We are working with Pennsylvania State Police again to set up details with them, trying to coordinate schedules with them. So I want to get them out on a regular basis. We've recently had NRAD details out, which is speed enforcement details out. I'd like to get more of those out. Some of them were manpower driven without getting too far into it. And we did what we could do to keep that number up. I know that's a lower number. It's not normal what we've been doing. We'll continue to work on that. And that's in response to what we were seeing, sir, to be honest.
Understood. Thank you for that response. And certainly not for discussion now, but you know, Chief, if there are times when you think it's a good idea to have a detail for solely focused on speed enforcement. I'm not talking traffic enforcement. I'm talking speed. You know, certainly I think coming to the board and asking us if this is something that we're willing to fund is an appropriate request on your part. So
I appreciate that cooperation, sir. I've
yeah,
always felt that I've had that cooperation between the Board of Commissioners and the manager as well on that
yeah,
topic. So I would do that.
good.
I appreciate that
Please.
support. Thank you.
The last thing I wanted to ask about is, as I understand it, there's a new law coming into place in June regarding distracted driving with phones. You know, the use of a phone is while you're driving is an offense. Can you speak to that and whether that's going to be on your radar with the click it or ticket surge and that sort of thing?
What we'll do first and foremost is to educate. So we'll put stuff out on social media to educate our community that this is an offense and this is an offense that's reckless driving, basically with being distracted driving on this. We'll educate the public by putting out public service announcements first on that, and that the law is enacted, that we'll be doing that type of detail enforcement so they're aware, just like we are with click it and ticket. We'll make mention of that as well with
Great.
that. So the community's aware, number one, and then we begin enforcement. It's a multiple-pronged approach to that, as you know, and that would be my first step on addressing that issue, is to let the public know that this is an issue, this is a new procedure we're going to be doing. We're going to be out enforcing those as well, and to look for us out there. So that's the first phase in that.
Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it, Chief.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Rappaport?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I may have missed this because I had a phone call, but
Hey, Dan, before you start, hey, Allison, can you mute someone? There's a lot of.
I think it's Scott.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So it wasn't directly in the report, and somebody may have already mentioned this, but I'm still hearing lots of complaints, and particularly last weekend, about the noisy motorbikes and you know, the wheelies going through town. And you can hear those. I mean, you can hear those a good mile and a half, 2 miles away. So I know we don't chase, but there's got to be a solution. And what can we do? Whether it's, yeah, what can we do?
So to answer your question, Chris, we do get calls for the noise, right? That's been an issue for us for a while. Some of the vehicles, modified exhaust, that kind of thing, you can hear them a mile away, as you say. You're right. What we can do with that is use the data we have in our database when we're getting these complaints, put our officers in those areas moving forward to try to look out for vehicles that are making excessive noise. Unfortunately, it seems to be everywhere, to be honest. It's not a west side part of our town. It's not an east side issue. It's an entire township issue as well. But I think using our data to answer your question, when are we getting these complaints? What time are we getting these complaints? And try to utilize our resources to effectively address that by putting officers in the area then.
Is it at all possible, or maybe the better word is feasible, to borrow some extra people from whatever, the county, from neighboring forces, or otherwise have more vehicles in operation at those times?
We can certainly coordinate with our law enforcement partners to our north and south and let them know what's going east and west, actually, to let them know what's going on with these complaints, so they're aware of what we're doing as well. I'm not aware of anybody would be able to help us on that directly, other than sharing the communication end of it. Like PSP would not send a trooper out for me to handle a noise issue. They'll help us with the speeding end of it. And like, as I said, I've been working on that, and that's a challenge as well, trying to adjust that schedule. So to answer your question, other than sharing information with local partners that we're seeing this issue in this time frame coming your way type thing as a heads up, would be my approach to that as far as working with our fellow law enforcement agencies.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for our chief? Not seeing any. I call for the approval of item 1A, our chief of police report for March 2025. Matt?
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, Chief. Chief,
Thank you.
hang around because I do have a question under old business
Yes, sir.
that I'm going to send to you.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to go to item 1B, Fire Marshal Report for March 2025. Scott Lynch, I don't see him on the screen.
I'm here.
Okay.
Technical difficulties, so my camera's not working, but good
Yeah,
evening.
yeah.
Is there any questions on my submitted reports?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Ziegler.
thanks. Scott, I noticed in this month's report, a significant reduction on the number of personnel per run. Historically, we've been averaging literally over the last 4 years, somewhere between 7 and 9, mostly 8 personnel, and some of the fire companies, particularly Glenside and Elkins Park, seem to have bolstered that up. If you look at this month's report, the average run is either 3 or 4 per event. So I'm just wondering, is there either a change in reporting, or was there something unusual about the month of March that would have altered those numbers?
There were significant amount of calls in March were during the day. So the guys that are normally there at night, where you get your 9, 10, 11, 12 guys, weren't there because it was daytime. So that's why your numbers have dropped a little bit there.
Okay, did we see an increase of support from the outside companies because of that?
If we needed it, yes. What we were dealing with in March, a lot of fire alarms, things like that, whether it was residential, commercial alarms. But again, there's quite a few of the guys, and they've even said this, that they're where they work, they're in a position now with things going on. They can't leave for every call. So,
Well, I'm just wondering if there's a trend here that we want to be aware of and begin to take some preventative measures. So let's keep an eye on that the next couple of months in case we see it. Obviously, the daytime calls, generate a lower number of participants, and we know that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm monitoring this. I've talked to the chiefs. We're all aware of it, and yeah, everybody's watching it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, no, just 2 more quick things. A shout out to Chief Slavin and a thank you. I was invited to the officers' breakfast today. It's a great thing he's doing. I got to see a lot of retirees that were on the police force with my dad. So it was nice to be able to be there for that. And the only other thing I have is I will not be at the meeting next week. I will be on vacation.
Good for you.
Okay, great. All right. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to call for the approval of item 1B, our Fire Marshal's report from March 2025.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. I understand that Jessica is not on the call tonight. So we do have 1C, the Emergency Medical Service report. The report's there. Are there any questions that maybe Ken can answer? Or Allison can answer.
I just wanted to jump in real quick. Well, Jess is not here. She did remind me, well, this week is police week. Next week is EMS week, sorry. So I'm not sure she'll be here this week, but we do want to recognize all of our emergency responders who do a wonderful job for the township. So I want to say thank the police and EMS providers as well.
Absolutely. And let's bring this up again at our meeting next week when we're in person.
Absolutely.
This up again. Thank you. We're going to move on. Well, I'm going to call for the approval of item 1C, the medical service chief report from March of 2025.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I don't see Ken on here also. I don't think he's on here tonight, but we do have his management coordinator report, and he's always a month ahead for April of 2025. If there's no questions, I call for the approval of this report.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Move on to item 2, which there were no meeting for the fire board or traffic calming. So now we're going to move on to item 3, which is old business. And I do have one old business item for the chief. Chief, I know there's been some talk on social media about the changes in the parade routes and things like that. I just wanted you to speak to that, just to let our residents know your mindset and why we're doing this.
Absolutely, Commissioner. I think a lot of the groundswell came up as a result of Whitpain Township, Montgomery County, canceling their 4th of July parade. That got the ball rolling. A lot of residents saw that. There were social media posts out there that we were canceling the East Cheltenham Township parade.
Right, which
No
is not,
one, I repeat, no one suggested canceling the East Cheltenham 4th of July parade.
exactly.
We did make recommendations. We met with the Commissioner Brockington. We met with the group that's organizing the East Cheltenham parade as well. We laid out our concerns on the climate we're encountering now out there and trying to keep everybody safe and the manpower issues we have on that holiday. So we laid it out. We made recommendations to alter the route, which would carry down Ashbourne Road to Ryers Avenue, up Ryers Avenue to Jefferson over to Central Avenue, down Central Avenue, and we finish at the bottom of Tookenny Park, where it traditionally ends each year there. And there's festivities at Griffin Field there afterwards as well. So that was presented to the group at a meeting that Sergeant Murphy and the Commissioner I said had attended as well to let the group know the plan. This is in response to what we're seeing across the country. And not only in our country and out of the country, we're seeing these incidents now. So our goal is to ensure public safety at these events. We have a duty and responsibility to keep people safe. We have them out there. So that's what the effort behind this is to keep people safe in these larger public events. This will also impact how we respond in the Glenside Parade as well. We're going to take extra steps there to ensure safety along the route there. So as the board knows, we've spoken to the board, we've spoken to the Economic Development Commission as well about this, had conversations with the manager regarding why I want to do this and why I think it's important. Been working very closely with our emergency management personnel in this and coming up with a plan that's reasonable and affordable. That's where we're at with this right now. This is a measure that's, a public safety issue, number one. Manpower issue and using the resources we have the best, I think, to ensure public safety. So
and Chief,
Lauren is working on a post, I believe,
yes,
for that. She can speak to that. I sent over my reply to what I felt needed to be addressed with that, and I know we're working on that. And that was
right.
going to be presented to the manager as well. So if you can comment on that, if you have anything else outside of that.
Hey, Chief, real quick, and we're not just doing this for parades, my understanding. If you can go into like we're doing it for the art festival.
We have numerous events throughout the year, as we all know, throughout the township. So it doesn't just end with parades. It's all the other events we have out on the highways where we have our residents and kids and parents and everybody else out there. So we want to ensure safety at these events, and we've taken measures to ensure them by putting personnel out there, man's posts, that type of thing. Measures to, number one, to prevent any vehicles. We're more likely to see an accidental vehicle incident there. I don't want to see any incidents at all, period, zero. I want to report to the board that we had nothing happen. That's what I want. And that's where I'm coming from. That's where we're coming from as an organization as well to ensure public safety.
Thank you, Chief. Commissioner Rappaport for old business.
Great statement.
Yeah, thank you. And it really is old because I've brought it up a number of times as have a lot of people. The issue of safety of vehicular and pedestrian safety on Greenwood Avenue in the section between Glenside and Church. So that area I know is a state road. I know we've talked with PennDOT in the past. I don't know if the police have yet or the administration has yet received the petition that the residents have worked on, or if they're waiting to submit that until the traffic calming. But of course, traffic calming committee isn't meant for state roads.
Right.
So the issue is, again, I'm bringing it up. This is a residential street. It is lined with bus stops for the kids for school. It's got parks on both sides, and at the end, it's got a small commercial area. It's a historic district, and it's all residential. It's got 100, more than whatever it is, driveways, multiple intersections, and it really needs special attention from PennDOT so that we can do something more creative and make some decent crosswalks. The turning radius and visibility is terrible a lot of places. So I'm begging for some attention to this. We just need to get in a room with PennDOT and talk about what do you do about the special conditions that are totally residential and need to be treated as such. So, thank you.
Commissioner, if I could comment on it as well.
Sure.
Your email, your original email, that of Commissioner Churko as well, echoing your sentiments for that as well. That have had discussions with Sergeant Murphy. That will probably come up at the June, I believe it's June 5th. Is that correct for traffic calming?
Okay.
There is a way we could probably try to present that to PennDOT to get that around, as you're well aware of, and you mentioned it in your email as well. So I did share that with him, so you're aware. So I would expect you to see that probably next
Right.
week at that meeting, and maybe we get the ball rolling on that as well there at
Right.
that meeting. I think it's June, I believe. But that's
Thank
a
you.
section that we've been dealing with for a long time, as you
I know.
with that there, from everything from enforcement to signage to line markings to, education, to all those things we've thrown at this. So we've done the
I know.
environmental end of it. We've done the enforcement end of it. Maybe this
Yeah.
other thing is one more step we can take. Well, I'm not resistant to your efforts at all in this, Commissioner, so you're aware. Neither is Sergeant Murphy on this. So I would expect that would be around a conversation for that meeting.
Thank you.
Well, Chief, I am concerned about that because it's, for traffic calming, we've been banging the drum saying we don't do state roads. So why can't that be part of an agenda for public safety?
I think Sergeant Murphy will be able to address some of the commissioner's concerns that she specifically cited in her email.
Okay.
Since you're going to be at that meeting, I think that would probably be the best forum to get that off the ground and,
Yep.
Follow the board's guidance on what you want done and what we're going to do.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Commissioner Harmon.
Yeah, so I'm not taking away anything from the concerns that were expressed by Commissioner Rappaport or the residents on Greenwood, but frankly, we have a number of PennDOT roads throughout the township that require a lot of attention in terms of speeding and traffic control and other items. So while again not taking away the focus off Greenwood Avenue, if we're going to get into the room with PennDOT, I think we need to raise a number of state roads within our township that need their serious attention, and not just focus on one of the roads. So if we're going to do that, and I'm all on board, let's make sure we're focusing throughout the township on the various needs that our residents and traveling public have.
Yeah, I second that.
I also
Absolutely.
agree, Commissioner
I agree.
Harmon, with that as well, that, I mentioned this specific one because this was brought up by the commissioner directly to me. That figure that could answer a lot of the questions that people may have. Where do we go from here? How do we respond from here? That type of thing. I think that would be best answered then, that question. And like you said, if there's other areas, I'm not trying to single one area. I'm addressing that email that came out directly from the commissioner to me. So, and we're trying to respond to that one as well. So that's all I meant by that. I'm not excluding any other road here as well.
And
I'm open to that idea. You're right. If we're going to do for one, let's throw it out there and see what we can do. What procedures do we need to follow?
Yeah, I wasn't suggesting, Chief, that you were singling that out. I agree. I know that it's an important spot and has had a lot of trouble, but frankly, we have a lot of spots throughout the township, and they all need a lot of attention from PennDOT that they're not getting on a variety of issues, whether it's trash, whether it's speeding, whether it's traffic control. And we need to make sure we're spreading that out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner Harmon. And you're 100% correct. I got an email today about Church Road. So absolutely. So is there any other old business for the agenda tonight that anyone has? Not, we're going to move on now to item 4, which is new business. 4A, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners authorize advertisement and consider adoption of an ordinance amending Chapter 285 Vehicle and Traffic, Section 285-43 Street and Parking Regulations of Cheltenham Township Code to amend the traffic regulation to remove a handicap parking at 7919 Park Avenue in Cheltenham. If there's no questions, I call for an approval of this item, of item 4A.
Any comments or questions?
No.
All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We're going to move on to item 5, Citizen Forum for Public Safety. Allison, I don't see.
Citizens. Yes, you have a citizen.
Yes, you go. Ms. Stein, go ahead.
Hi, Emily Stein, Wyncote. I'm just wondering if there's an update on the fuel spill or whatever spilled in the creek last weekend.
Good question.
Is Scott still here?
I was gonna say, unfortunately, I think Scott had to respond to a fire call, and he would be the best person tonight to respond to that. I don't have an update yet.
Maybe we could get a message back to Ms. Stein from Scott at some point,
And
or
Absolutely.
even from the township putting it out on our social media and other email, so everybody gets an update.
Yeah, that would be fine. I don't need a personal one, but I just know there were posts over the weekend, but then there's been no follow-up.
Right, we'll try to get that out there. Thanks, Emily. Any other citizen forum for tonight? Okay, I'm calling for the adjournment of our public safety meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.